Good morning, boys and girls. Today, in this week's music lesson, we are going to work on composing. And specifically, we are going to turn constellations or star patterns into musical compositions. So you're going to need two things today. You need your tablet or your computer to open up Chrome Music Lab, which we'll do together in a minute. And you need these constellation cards. Your parents have the constellation cards in their email, so they can help you get those. Now, if I go over here, here's what the constellation cards will look like. There's lots of different constellations, some that you know, like the Big Dipper, some that you might not be as familiar with, like Andromeda, Taurus, and Cancer. Those are the same ones. Capricorn and Aries, Scorpius and Gemini. There's all sorts of different constellations we can choose from. You could choose one that corresponds with your birth month. Like I was born in September, so mine is a Virgo, but my sister was born in June and she is Cancer. So she could choose that one if she decided to. So you can pick whichever constellation you want to create your pattern. All right, so each one of those stars on those star cards is going to match with a note on Chrome Music Lab. You're going to kind of map it out so that you can correspond each star with one note. So let's look at a couple of different things together on Chrome Music Lab just so we kind of get familiar with it. And then I'm going to take you over there so we can look at it together. All right. So you'll see here when you open Chrome Music Lab, you're going to have this big box of squares. And each square you see, or rectangle that you see, is going to be a note. Each one of the little boxes will be one note. Each column is a beat. So this is beat 1, then beat 2, then beat 3, and then beat 4, and so on all the way across. And if you look all the way across, you'll notice that I have 4 groups of 4 beats. So I have 4 times 4, which is 16 beats to deal with. Now, moving around, we have the play button down here. You can change the instruments down here. There's marimba, which is a beautiful xylophone. There's piano and a synthesizer and woodwinds, and I think that's it. And then you can change the drums here if you want. There's electronic drums and a drum kit and congas and woodblocks. And you can change the speed of the song here, the tempo. You can change a lot of different options, which we'll do together right here in the settings tab. And then when you finish, you can save your work by clicking on that little check mark. You can go back and listen to it later. Okay, so let's look at the settings tab together. So there are a couple of different things you need to know about the settings tab. You can change the length of your piece if you want. So right now it's set to 4 bars, but you can make it more or less. You can adjust the number of beats per bar. Usually the music that we listen to the most often is in beats or groups of 2, 3, or 4. I'm going to stick with 4 today, but you can change it to however many beats you wanted per measure. Then where it says split beats into parts, we're just going to leave that for now. Now, we can also choose between 3 different scales. I'm going to stick with a major scale today. There are 2 other choices which we'll go over together. You can change the starting note if you want. This starting note, middle C, that's Do, but you could change it to whatever note you wanted to. And then you can adjust the range where you can write more music. So if you make it 3 octaves, that means you have a taller space and higher notes to work with. Now, let's go and look at this together. So I chose the Big Dipper for my example, and you can choose whichever one you want to make, but this one was just, I thought, a fun one to put together. I liked its shape a lot. Now let's talk through this first, and then I'm going to show you on my computer how you can go over and change these settings. So you're going to open Chrome Music Lab Songmaker, go to Settings, and choose a scale. So there's the major scale, which is the 8-note scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. You could do the pentatonic scale, which is a 5-note scale. Do, re, mi, sol, la. Or you could do the chromatic scale, which is kind of hard to sing, but it would be like if you played each note of the piano, the black and the white keys. So like I said, I'm going to use the major scale for my example, but you can use whichever one you want. Now you're going to insert each star as a note. So you want to pay attention to where the lowest note is and how far away the constellation stretches between stars so that you can make sure everything you do fits in there. If you need more space moving up, go to settings and add more octaves. If you need more spaces on the side, go to settings and change the length or the beats per bar. So here's what mine looked like when I put mine in. So here's my Big Dipper. And then I ended up having 4 bars, but I only used 2. So I deleted 2 bars so that I could just have this by itself. Now I want to show you. I'm going to go over to Chrome Music Lab and click on the song maker. It's in one of the top left right here. And you can do this with me if you want. I'm going to go down here to settings, this little gear right here. Here's the length. I'm going to keep it at 4 bars for now. I've got my beats per bar, which is 4. I'm going to stay there. Split beats into 2. That's fine. And then here's where I can change the scale. I can make it pentatonic, chromatic, or major. I think I'm going to stick with major today, like I said. And then I have a 2-octave range. I'm going to make it 3 octaves. So now to put my notes in, I'm just going to do one for fun for now. Kind of a rough sketch of my Big Dipper. Let's start up here, actually. Let's do one there. So I'm kind of tracing out my Big Dipper. Let me go look at it right here. Okay. Kind of memorizing the shape so that I can put it into my Chrome Music Lab. Then I need like a little bucket kind of guy down here. So you'll see, if you look here, I did not use the whole space, right? Just like in my original picture, I only used about half the space. I only used 2 bars. So I'm going to change this to 2 bars in settings. It's a little bit more stretched out now, but it's going to repeat easier. Now if I push play, I like how that sounds. It sounds nice. All right. Now, if I want to see what the original one, or if you want to see what my original one looks like and sounded like, you can click on this link to see it and listen to it. All right, so now after you have done your constellation, then you can add a drum beat to it. So the drum beats are these 2 little circles down here at the bottom. Let me show you on the one that I just made. So if you look down here, the bottom circle is my bass drum. The top one is my snare drum. I'm just going to click random ones for now and see how that sounds. Let's do this, and then maybe... Let's see how this sounds. I kind of like that. That's pretty cool. All right. I like that. So once you're finished, like I said, once you're finished putting in your notes to make your constellation, then put in your drum beats. All right. So you can adjust it however you want. You can change the beats. You can switch around the melody just a little bit. You can change the tempo. You can change the instruments and make it however you want to make it. Here's the original final composition that I made. So when you're ready, you can click on my link to see that one. Once you've finished, here's what you can do to finish it up. Click Save. At the bottom right, it's a little check mark, and you can send it to me if you want. It'll give you a link, and you can email it to me at my Broadwater email address, atarwater@broadwateracademy.org. If you want to keep a copy of your song, you can click the button that says Download Wave, and it'll save a copy to your computer. And feel free to create more than one song. You can do as many as you want. You can do all the constellations. I think that would be really, really cool. So I hope you have fun doing that. And I just want to show you real quick before we go. I'm going to go back to the one I just made. I did want to show you how I can change the instruments. So that makes it a piano. Now I've got strings. Let's make it strings and a drum kit. Now I've got woodwinds and a synthesizer. Pretty cool. I just think this is a really neat project to do. So I hope you will share your constellations with me and your compositions, and I hope you have a really good time this week. I miss you tons, and I hope to hear from you soon. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.